to An Evening with Cora. So this week I have a very awesome guest that I've met on Instagram. We've never met in person because this whole year, crazy year. But I really love their vibe and they are awesome. I would like you to meet Pepper under Peppermint Lips is how they perform. So here is Pepper. Hey, how's it going?
Hi Cora, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I love your hair.
Thank you. Yes, it's all mine.
Yes.
Girl.
Keep dyeing those roots or
Oh yeah.
brilliant. Are you having a good day so far?
I am. It's been a really nice day. Not too sunny, but still good weather. And just soaking up all that seaside vibe.
Oh yeah, because you're in Brighton, that's right.
Yeah, it's so nice just when you're feeling stressed, just to walk along the beach and just let loose and just enjoy the fresh air.
Amazing. And have you
Mm.
are you always from Brighton? Are you always in Brighton?
No, so I was born in Italy.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, I'm Italian on my dad's side, and my mom's English. So I was born just outside of Rome, and I grew up for the first 3 years in this sort of little hillside country house
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere. And then I came to the UK when I was 3 or 4, and kind of grew up in Surrey, and found my way to Brighton. Like everyone here, they kind of just come from all over the world and end up staying for years upon years, really.
Yeah. It's a pretty decent place though to do that, isn't it? I
It's
do love that.
beautiful. I feel like a lot of people come to Brighton like, oh, I'm gonna just stay here for 3 months, or 3 4 months, and they just end up never leaving.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's such a colourful place that people just love it. I
Yeah,
love
you kind of feel at home because everyone here is an eclectic mix of everything, and
it.
you don't feel like you're out of place because nobody's really in place.
Yeah. And you feel like you're welcomed, I suppose. It's because everyone's a little bit quirky.
That's
Or it doesn't matter that you're a bit quirky as well. Like, I love it.
Yeah, it's like a home for all the misfits, and I'm
Yeah,
down for that. I'm down for the misfits fitting in.
absolutely. I'm totally with that. So, I've got a couple of questions for you. So tell us, how did you come up with your name, Peppermint Lips? Like, where did that come from?
Well, it was weird because I'd been making music for about 5 years prior to the inception of the name.
Mm,
And when I was thinking about where I wanted to go with my journey and how I wanted to present myself, I was really stumped on a name that was kind of symbolic of this new direction that I was taking, because the music that I'd made up until now had been quite different and eclectic. And I
mm,
think, like a lot of musicians, it's about finding your own voice. You can mimic something for so long, and then after a while, you actually end up finding your own voice, so to speak.
yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, what kind of name would encompass this whole new direction, which I didn't even know what the full direction would be. And after about 3 weeks of just sitting, I honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I did have a notepad and pen and I was writing names, and everything just felt so contrived.
Yeah.
And then it was New Year's Day, I was slightly hungover, and I think I had zoned out having a cup of tea, just staring at a wall, just slightly zoned out. And it just literally just hit me in the face, Peppermint Lips, for no apparent reason. And everything after that I tried to come up with just didn't feel authentic. And I think because it had literally come out of thin air into my head,
Mm.
I was like, I'm going to run with this, and it felt natural and organic. It wasn't me sat there trying to come up with it.
Yeah. I love that, that you just kind of like dropped in when you just were relaxing, like,
Yeah, and I think that's I said for a lot of creativity as well. I think
yeah,
when you push it, I mean, as a fellow musician, you
yeah,
try and you push something and it doesn't work.
yeah.
You let go, you let the ether do its thing, and then
There it is.
yeah.
It also comes at like the weirdest times sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, the weird, and the worst is when you can't write it down. Like you're going out for dinner,
Yeah.
obviously before lockdown, and you're thinking, God, you're enjoying someone's company, but you're like, God, how am I going
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
this idea written down before it escapes my head?
How do you deal with that? What do you do?
iPhone voice note
Yeah, yeah,
always.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Then
definitely.
do you name them?
No, I'm terrible. I have about 50 like 10-second clips that just make no sense. And the weird thing is, I hardly ever use it. Most of the songs that I finish, I sit down and I write them in like 10 minutes.
Great.
Yeah, I can't really. I'm not one of these people that can like a magpie, like collect little bits here and there.
Mm.
I kind of feel like if I don't start the song and finish it in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever, it
Right.
doesn't really get finished. It doesn't really feel like I can finish it.
Okay.
I don't know about how do you tend to work with songs? Are you like what's your
This is an interview for you, Pepper. But
well? See, I love talking to people. I'm like, tell me about you.
but no, like it's different. I think for the different songs, sometimes I can sit and write a song in 10 minutes, depending on what it's about. Sometimes I might sit there and it just isn't coming, like you say, and you just have to put the guitar down. You just have to stop trying to do it and trying to write the lyrics and stuff, and then it will come.
And you know what? And that's key. It's knowing when to stop. I think I've definitely honed in on that where you're pushing an idea for so long.
Mm.
Your part of your experience and your skill set is knowing when to leave an idea.
Yeah.
And I think I've definitely become better at that as well. Like if it doesn't work after a while, you just park it up and you move on.
Yeah. And do you ever go back to those as well?
Never.
No.
Rarely, rarely. I mean, I listen to stuff, old songs from like 3 years ago, because I keep everything. So I've got 7 hard drives.
Wow.
I don't delete a single song, even if it's really bad. And then I have sometimes listened back to stuff, and because my voice has changed over the years, I listen to it like it's someone else, and I forgot what I wrote. And that's the best bit because you kind of sit there and you're like, oh God, that bit was really good, and that bit was terrible. And often when you made it, you often thought the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I do go back. Sometimes I will pick, but I'm very weird with songs. Like came across a few from 2015, and I listened to them and I tried to update them a bit or add new drums, and it just felt weird because I was like, nah, like they've been and gone. Like it's not really doesn't feel authentic. Like for me, whatever I'm doing, as long as it feels authentic for whatever reason, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Even if it's hair, clothes, name, even if it's not what I started with,
Mm.
as long as in the moment it's authentic, I'll run with it and I'll commit to it.
That's it.
But if it doesn't feel authentic, I think now I'm 29 as well. I'm like, if it doesn't feel authentic, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put my name to it, and I'm not going to stand by it.
Absolutely. And I think that comes with writing better music, isn't it? Being able to be authentic and vulnerable because then people relate to it more. So,
Vulnerable. Do you know what? That one word I was thinking about that today actually. Being vulnerable.
mm,
Easy to say, whole nother thing to do.
yeah, absolutely. I struggled with that forever. I still do. Like, I think a lot of people do.
I agree, and I think music is such a personal way of expressing yourself in a way that video and other art forms might not be, because other art forms you have a finished product and it's presented, but I think when the notes and the lyrics are coming from within you,
Mm,
it feels a lot more exposing. um,
yeah.
I definitely know, like, a lot of my music that I've worked on over the years, I've altered my voice a lot. I've worked with layering and different EQ and different forms of gimmicks and things like that to cover up.
Yeah.
And although Cage isn't quite where I'm going to be, the next stuff that I'm working on is a lot more vulnerable,
Okay.
vocally and production wise. And for me, I think I'm settled enough in my own skin now to actually be really excited by being a bit more like, let's brush away all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's keep it minimal and succinct and what it needs to be, and let's just let it breathe.
Well, I'm excited to hear that. So we'll have to get you back on when you've got
Yeah,
that on the go.
yeah. That's if I finish it. You know what I'm like?
Oh, you should. Yeah, you should definitely finish it.
I've got the next one in the bag. It's all good. It's all good.
Amazing. Can't wait. And leading on from that there, who would you say or who and what inspires your songwriting?
Oh God, that's a great question. Well, there's lots of different things that inspire me.
Mm.
I'd say my main inspiration is the stories and the people that I've met in my life,
Mm.
because they form the visceral memories and experiences, and it's so amazing to have people in your life that you might still not talk to anymore, but they were part of your life for a period,
Yeah.
and you have these memories and these pockets of moments that you can draw from.
Yeah.
I'd say musician wise, my inspirations are people that I don't sound like, but I love their ethos. So like Kurt Cobain, Madonna, Youngblood, all these people have not just a voice in music, but a voice for social issues, for standing up against racism, homophobia, inequality.
Yeah.
And for me, that's I really love an artist, not just when I like their music, but when I watch their interviews and I understand their intention behind it.
Yeah.
And for me, like Young Blood, I remember him popping up here and there, and I thought, okay, loud visuals, in your face music, that's cool.
Yeah.
But until I sat down and watched his interview and him championing gay rights and championing um, equality for others, I really admired him, and I was like, do you know what? You're an inspiration because of that.
I think that's so prevalent what you just said. Like I feel that too. When you can really not only listen to someone's vulnerability in their music, but then when you watch them talk about what really drives them and what they care about, you just fall in love with that person even more. Like definitely.
100%. And also because sometimes you can have an intention behind a song, but by the time, if you're working especially with like a major label, maybe that message can get diluted through working with lots of songwriters and having a big production team for a music video. Sometimes maybe the message isn't quite what it was set out to be, but when you listen to an interview with the artist, if they've helped write the song and the production, they can almost explain the origin of it, which is actually makes you appreciate the final thing more. I hope people do that with my music. They can judge it for one thing, but there's a whole bunch of other meanings that have gone into it, even if it's not overtly recognizable when you listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with songwriting, from our point of view of the writer, it's like it's nice to have the audience figure out their own way in the song and find their own vulnerability within your words and the music. But also then I love then hearing what it means to the writer. And you're like, oh, I was thinking it meant this. And then,
Yeah, isn't it a treat? Isn't it? It's a rare treat having written a song and then somebody comes to you with a completely different meaning.
yeah,
It's beautiful. And actually, with my songwriting, I tend to prefer writing words and lyrics that are a bit more ambiguous. That can be interpreted in lots of ways. Cage is an example of that. There's a million different ways it can be interpreted. I have a reason that is how I wrote it. But when people say like, "What's your song about?" it can be about so many things, and
yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it, really.
I think after we watch it and listen, I might ask you what it's about. So
You
we
can ask me whatever you want about it. I'd love talking about it. It's my new baby.
oh yay. When did you bring it out? How long has it been
Oh,
out?
God, super recently. So 5th of March it came out.
Great. And
Yeah, and do you know what? From the demo that I wrote and produced at home to it being released, it was about 6 weeks.
oh wow, that's quite
Yeah,
a short amount of time.
I love being independent for that reason. Like, you want to make a song, you want to put it out, do it. No one's in the way of you apart from you. And at the moment as well, I've got so much like I need to talk about and get off my chest. I need to be able to churn these babies out because I've got a whole conveyor belt of ideas that I need to just get out.
Do you feel like it's too many ideas? Sometimes you can't write quick enough.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's hard to prioritize the songs that are maybe better than others with the songs that actually mean more to you. And maybe one is more what you're at now, but the other one sounds more like it's finished better. And yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I think I've just set myself my own personal task of releasing a song every month and a half this year, like consecutively.
So we have more to look forward to from Peppermint Lips.
Hell yeah!
I love it.
At the end of the year, you'd have had a whole album's worth, just not in an album.
Yes. Uh, and how long have you been writing for? And you mentioned 5 years as a mark, but has it been 5 years or?
Well, yeah. So I've been writing songs for 5 years. Before that, I went to film school. So since I was 8, I was like, I'm going to be the next Steven Spielberg. Like my family would always joke. I used to have a camcorder in my hand at 8. I used to make Lego films when I didn't really have any friends at school to begin with.
Oh.
But like, do you know what? I'm like, if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. If no one's going to be in my films, I'm going to make the Lego people move.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that, I was writing. So I went to film school. I wrote, edited, and directed some short films that were in some short film festivals, which was great. Some in London and some in Cardiff. So I've always been writing.
Yeah.
And actually, in terms of my artistry, I rarely ever call myself a singer because for me, I don't feel like I'm a singer. Although I sing my songs, I think my talent is in storytelling, and I love being the director of that.
Yeah.
Whether it's directing a short film, whether it's directing my own music videos. I love having that kind of omnipresent
Amazing.
hand in it all, like The Godfather,
The
but no
control.
violence. Yeah, like the puppet. Yeah, yeah.
And you filmed, because we're going to watch it in a moment, but you filmed your music video, didn't you, at home by yourself?
Yeah, so the majority of it, yeah. So with the actual video, a lot of performance shots I filmed on my own.
Hmm.
There were some shots that I filmed with a local creative called Luca, and they're also into the arts filming. And we did it all obviously with lockdown guidelines in place.
Great.
And it's
By the way.
great to it's great to just create something from nothing.
Yeah.
And for me, the biggest pleasure in all of this is having a song and a video that has come from nothing.
Yeah.
You just think when you write a song, it it's come from nothing.
Mm.
It's come out of thin air. It's insane how this even happened.
Yeah.
It's amazing to have an end result.
Absolutely. And what better way to lead on to watching your video with that statement? So can we watch it? Do you give me...
Please, let's do it.
Cool. Right, well, let's watch this and listen to Peppermint Lips.
You keep me locked down inside your cage that keeps pushing down my internal rage. Do you even see the animal inside me, biting at the bars and longing to be free? Na 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 na. You got the key. Na 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 na. To set me free. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Like a phoenix rising through the flames. Gotta get out of the cage. You want to keep me on my back all day. A little submissive to make it okay. Do you even see the animal inside me, biting at the bars and longing to be free? Na 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 na. You got the key. Na 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 na. To set me free. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Like a phoenix rising through the flames. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Like a phoenix rising through the flames. Gotta get out of the cage. I'm breaking out. I'm breaking out. Keep running and running. I'm breaking out. Running and running and running and running. I'm breaking out. Running away from you. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Like a phoenix rising through the flames. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Gotta get out of the cage. Like a phoenix rising through the flames. Gotta get out of the cage. I'm breaking out. Gotta get out of the cage.
Wow. That was amazing.
A lot of hair flicking, a lot of pouting, a lot of
So much
prancing around.
exciting. I loved it.
If you can't prance around at home in mesh, when can you?
Fantastic. And I was watching it the other day, and all I was doing afterwards was gotta get out.
Yes.
It was in there, so it's a good one. It's a good one. So go on then. Give us the lowdown. What's it about? And tell us where it came from. Where did it birth?
Well, I wrote it probably most and foremost about the lockdown scenario,
Yeah.
the feeling of oppression, and being able to try and figure out a way of existing in the the lockdown that we're in, but it really does have a greater meaning in terms of the oppression. I mean, being a gay man, having grown up, having faced homophobia, the references to being in a cage and biting at the bars, like longing to be free, it is a metaphor for those who have felt oppression. I try and package melodies and, you know, melodic words with a meaning behind it. And yeah, this was really a call to action. This was, you got to get out of what's keeping you down, like the phoenix that's rising through the flames. Like, I had a lot of 80s influences running through me when I was writing it, and like, I just love like the phoenix. Like, no one sings about damn phoenixes anymore. I was like, let's bring back that phoenix, that big old bird.
I love it.
Yeah.
And all the elements of the video as well. Like, I just can't stop watching. There's just so much, and I'm like, this is amazing. And
it's definitely an assault on the senses, shall we say? It's definitely, you know, you got the kaleidoscope effects, you got the color grade, you got the hair, you got the song, you got the smoke, you got the strobe lights. I had to pack it all in. It had to be intense because I felt so intense. You know, I'm not, away from music, I'm a very peaceful, emotive, friendly person.
Yeah.
So God knows I have to find some way of channeling everything else that I'm feeling, you know, because I'm not violent. I'm not, you know, I'm not a lawbreaker. So the song is intense because it has to be, because that's cathartic.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I can't wait to see what else you do.
Thanks. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the next song that I've got lined up that I'm working on is it's a complete counterpart to Cage.
Yeah.
It's called Sky High.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and it's exciting. It's definitely more stripped back. It's less in your face. Okay. And it's more optimistic, shall we say?
Nice. Okay. When do we expect that?
Soon, hopefully. I mean, I've just done the demo, just like done the words, done the recording of the demo. I'm probably going to work with somebody on the production because it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, okay.
And then to produce my demos myself.
Great.
And then I kind of give them over to, I'll work with a producer to hone them in.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say, I'm going to say April, let's say.
Put it out there and it shall be done.
In the ether.
And so tell the people, where can they listen to you? Where can they find you, follow you? What are you on?
So all my handles are at Pepper World, world spelled WRLD, just because. And yeah, Peppermint Lips Cage on Spotify, Peppermint Lips on YouTube. I'm there.
Amazing.
I'm there.
Then go follow Peppermint Lips, everyone. And just as a last note from you, Pepper, if you wouldn't mind, if you could give the people out there watching just one piece of advice about anything, what would that be?
Oh, just one?
Just one.
Okay.
If you want to link it with another one, that's fine.
I would say, don't be that person that is standing in your way of success.
Ooh.
And whatever you define success to be, do not let that voice in your head tell you that you are not good enough. Because all the greats had that voice, and the only difference between them and you is they didn't listen to it.
Hey. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes,
What
I mean
Pepper
it.
said.
Vote Pepper for president.
Pepper for president.
Actually, PM, because we're in the UK, actually, Prime Minister, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't want that job. Too stressful.
No, you're too good for it, babes. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Pepper.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a real pleasure talking to you, and thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. Thank you. So I'm just going to pop you off the screen now. There we go. I love Pepper. Amazing. And I love that we got to see that video as well that they created by themselves at home. So thank you all for being here again this week and watching, meeting Pepper. I look forward to next week. And I do have a quote for you today. I like to finish off with the quotes today. This one's a nice short one, but it hits there. So the quote is, "The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion." Ooh. So do with that information what you will. But that is what I'm leaving with you with today. So I hope you have a lovely evening, have a great week, and see you next week. Bye.